Well, thank you. I just want to thank you to start off for the opportunity. It's very exciting for me to be here, and thank you for all the resources that you've provided that's gotten me here. My project is very much a niche play, but I believe it has a much broader opportunity to scale. So let's dive in and go to the next slide. I guess I should back up well, you can read the slide. My background is in enterprise software, but I am a PR professional. So all of your presentations, Dave, was very interesting to me as well. In public relations, storytelling takes on many forms and often requiring a variety of tools to do your job well, now more than ever, actually. And if you're trying to make a buy decision on PR infrastructure tools, it's important to feel like you've really done your homework because you're going to spread that cost around your clients. First, you have to find them. Then you have to see what you can afford at your stage of business, and only then can you start your in-depth evaluation. So having firsthand experience with this, I added up all the hours that each individual might be spending doing the same research, and the result is just an obscene amount of valuable time wasted. Before we go further, about market validation, I just want to say that some years back, my original idea was much bigger. It was called PR Service Bureau. And at that time, I conducted some market research and a survey of my PR professional colleagues to assess what might help them the most. And I added a question: if there were a database of PR tools to help you easily find tools, would this be something beneficial to you? So 100% of respondents said yes. And that's what I decided to focus on over time. So next slide, please. I've been working on PR Tool Finder largely on my own, self-funding along the way, and it went live in 2016. Put some effort into SEO and a little bit of marketing, but not a lot. So at this stage, what I'm seeking is, maybe it's not a funding partner, maybe it's more mentor, but I believe I've taken this sort of as far as I can take it on my own with the personal investments that I've made. So I'm looking for either with the funding partner or mentor that can extend guidance into pricing and digital advertising best practices. At this point, I know what I don't know. So next slide, please. These are just a few of the main categories in PR Tool Finder. It might surprise you to learn that there's like 20 categories. I mean, in terms of you're trying to make these easy to find and understanding how you use them. Next slide, please. And even if all you're looking is to buy a media contact database, one of the most basic tools in PR, there's still 12 options. Prices and functionality vary widely, and all of these options won't just roll up in a simple Google search of media databases. And I actually hired someone some years back to do some evaluate media databases because I didn't have time at the time with my client load, and it took 15 hours. That's a lot of time. Next slide.
So Gina, currently are you monetizing any of this, or you're not?
No. I know. I will get to that. That is the next step. That is the next step.
Okay.
The target market, as you can see, are PR professionals, agencies, and in-house. I actually, as a solo practitioner, I'm very active in the Public Relations Society of America's Independent Practitioners Alliance, having been a past chair. But, you don't have to be a PR pro to want to find some of these tools. People who blog, they want to create podcasts. Businesses want to know how to measure their social media sentiment. Just a lot of.
Yeah, but now you're going off in different tangents. Your positioning to begin with was very crisp, and now you're going off in various tangents. If you're creating a tool that specifically caters to PR professionals to do their job, that's a positioning, and I think it's a reasonably crisp positioning. If you go off in tangents on helping bloggers measure their effectiveness, that's going off in directions that are not going to be so easy to monetize. So, I would say
how I'd like you to look
hold on, let me speak. If you keep speaking over me, I will not be able to communicate what I'm trying to say to you. Okay. So there are blueprints of these kinds of businesses. Yelp-like businesses have been built. Is that the right strategy? Is the Yelp-like business the right strategy for you? Yelp has certain monetization paths. You can look into those and try to replicate those. But there are other, paths that you could also consider, which are more subscription kind of models. I haven't decided. I haven't looked at it well and closely enough to decide what is the right monetization model for you. But let's listen to Dave. What do you think, Dave?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to know without knowing sort of more information about, if you've been doing this for a few years, what's the usage that you're getting right now, and what's the profile of person that tends to be coming to your site and using it? And then, are you reaching out? What I would recommend, it's sort of going back to the lean startup approach. You need to find the users that are using you right now, learn what their profiles are, and call out to dozens of those, or put them into different bands of profiles and ask them how they're using your product, ask them what the biggest pain points are and what the jobs that they're doing, and ask them what are the things they'd be willing to pay, problems they'd be willing to pay to help solve, and does it look like what you're doing it could solve some of that, or a mild twist or change to what you're doing is something extra feature functionality that would help them a lot. And at the end of the day, you need to find a business model out of it. It's very, very hard to go down the path where you just get a lot of users using you for free and you sort of monetize them on the back end. There's successful examples of that, but for every one of those, there's 1,000 companies that tried that and it didn't work out so well.
And it's very expensive to build those companies. These advertising-based business models are very expensive to build, and I mean, by and large, I try to discourage people from following that path. So, Gina, on your question about mentoring, obviously you've come to a place where that's what we do for, as our reason for existence. So if you just hold on for a bit, let me go through the other two pitches, and then I will explain how to use the program for mentoring and for support, and you can just...
I was hoping to finish my slide deck, but if that's not something that you will want me to do, then I don't have to. But
go ahead.
Run through them very quickly.
If there is more information here, go ahead.
Yeah, there is actually quite a bit, and I would like to. I'll run through it very quickly.
Go ahead.
The point of this slide is that there is an educational component for my target advertisers, and that is that in higher ed, it's not unreasonable to expect that they would use the database in their coursework and communications, giving tool vendors early exposure into tomorrow's customers. This is how I knew that, which I think is high praise coming from enterprise software. This slide is the market size, and it does show, PR is a modest size. I'm hoping, I was going to say earlier, that I'd like you to look at this as a case study of how this can scale to just the general small business population, which in 2008, there were 30.2 million small businesses in the U.S. Okay, next slide. From a competitive standpoint, there are 4 competitors I've identified listed here, 3 of which have been acquired by Gartner. I have a few quick stats about them. These 3 Gartner properties see 4 million unique visitors a month. They offer geo-targeting by country. They have an in-house team to help customers acquire qualified reviews for free. And they use a PPC model, which is very interesting, that I also hope to leverage in the future. It's paired with a dedicated marketing advisor to help them leverage and grow their campaigns. So Gina,
I have a comment about this slide.
I'm sorry?
It terrifies me to see user cost free on all these competitors, which means it's going to be very difficult to charge for this product. And the freemium, free users, and then there's a premium for pro users or premium users. Premium has terrible conversion rates. So building businesses with a premium model and competing with so much free stuff out there is terrifying.
Well,
so that's just a comment. Just take it away. You don't need to react to it right now, but it is a comment. It's a concern.
Well, and I appreciate that. I mean, in my view, PR Tool Finder is not only more complete, offering listings of both paid and free tools, which users would appreciate, but it has a higher degree of tool segmentation. I was not able to find a valuation on the Gartner properties, but G2 Crowd was founded in 2012 and is presently valued at $300 million. I think they raised an additional $55 million 8 months ago. Advertising opportunities, these are just a few. I think additional products that could be developed in the future are sponsored case studies, custom research, possibly even micro newsletters that focus on high change categories, much like the Washington Post has been doing, I think. These numbers are...
So these are, I don't think we should go over revenue numbers, revenue potential numbers, because there's, this is, I think you have to first figure out what is the right business model for it. And this is kind of cart before the horse. I don't think it's...
Okay, well then let's just quickly run through. These are just some of the potential tool advertisers and PR. Next slide, please. I think with enough site traffic, the next slide, we can attract horizontal business and higher ed. Next slide. That just shows we do have traffic, not a lot. That's because we haven't been doing a lot of marketing. That is the next step. I wanted just to get some feedback first. And which has been good, and I appreciate it. Next slide, please. These are some likely industry partners. Like I said before.
This is not a fundable situation at the moment at all. Okay. What you have at the moment is not a fundable business. So we have to figure out how to put in place something that you can build, block by block, put one step before the other, without assuming that you can raise financing at the moment.
Very good. Then that's the feedback I was looking for.
Yeah. All right. So, Gina, we can do more Q&A in a bit. Let me finish the other two presentations, and we'll come back to you.
Thanks again.
You're very welcome. William Chow, you're up next.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes. Yep.
Okay,
Go
great.
ahead.
Yeah, first off, I apologize for the quality of the slides. Just kind of, they're kind of old, so we put them together. But anyway, what we're, Allotrope is about is we are in the, we're trying to make reward loyalty points more attractive for people and to have a more engaging way for people to actually earn loyalty points. So if you can put the next slide over. Next slide. So our mission statement is loyalty points. We want to make it a lifestyle instead of just like something you kind of like just kind of throw in the back. Like if you ever go to McDonald's, they always have like a survey where you get like a $1 off your next meal, and probably 99.9% of people never take that survey. And so we're trying to see if we can engage people more. So if you go to the next slide. So in summary, I think everyone knows this problem. It's very straightforward. Loyalty points are not transferable. It's difficult to incentivize patrons from using loyalty points. Customers definitely do not value loyalty points in general. I think that's pretty much the case. I think there's like a 2% penetration for like people actually using your loyalty points, maybe lower. It's difficult to develop logistic and financial processes and ROI for your loyalty points. And, also loyalty point programs, there's a lot of burnout. So there might be like a bit of initial, like a high initial usage of these points, but they burn out really quickly. Okay, next slide, please. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to offer loyalty software as a service. And how we want to engage people into having more loyalty points is to offer short, very quick surveys, and through surveys we incentivize people to take these very quick surveys through loyalty points. We have an iPhone and an Android app for that. We have a data. We want to gather data and analytics through these surveys and through the usage of loyalty points. We want to be industry compliant, and we want to have a way to exchange points. Next slide, please. So this is the architecture we came up with. We partnered up with Verifone and with Point. So our application works seamlessly with point of sales. And what we do is it's a very simple architecture. What we do is we have users download the app. It's an iPhone app. It integrates with the point of sale through both NFC and the QR code. We store the loyalty points on a blockchain so that they're easily transferable between merchants. That's the fundamental. And so we vend out surveys, vendor-specific surveys to people who are going to a specific vendor. So if you go to McDonald's, you get like a McDonald's survey. You know, how do you like your burger? Or if you go to you go to like Costco, if you went to change your tires, you know, how are the tires, etc. And the idea here is that people will take the survey if they are actually awarded for these. And in addition, the points themselves will hopefully be perceived to be more valuable if they are able to be easily exchanged. And so we facilitate that through a blockchain exchange, so that you can so if you go to Starbucks once a week and you get like a whole bunch of points for that, you can exchange it for different kinds of points.
So the main point you're making is that you're going to create a transferable loyalty point exchange which is loyalty points earned in exchange for taking surveys.
Yes, exactly, right. Hopefully that came through. So again,
can I suggest one thing? It took you quite a while to make that point, right? That is your positioning. That positioning should be very early on in the presentation. That should be your opening slide. You're making transferable loyalty points. The blockchain is an enabling technology. Blockchain, I know it's a buzzword. You want to throw the buzzword out there, but the reality is your value proposition has nothing to do with blockchain.
Yeah, I'm a little confused why you need a blockchain implementation. Couldn't you do this just as well with a database?
Yeah, exactly.
No, the reason why we're using the blockchain is because we are distributing these points on an exchange, and we want to have the point potential. We have the blockchain EC20 compliant or whatever, so that you can hopefully transfer these points to other types of currency, like cryptocurrencies, right? So that we can actually even put the points, and if they ever become like valuable enough, right? I'm not saying they will be, but if they ever become valuable enough, you can like partner with someone like the major or minor exchanges. So that was
who's paying for these surveys? So if I'm a small business using this, every time someone takes a survey, I've got to pay you for them to have taken the survey because you're giving them points that are worth something.
So the price, how we're going to make money is up for debate. Again, this is very early on. We essentially have built out the technology. We've shown it to Verifone and to Point, and we're trying to find our first beta kind of customers. This is all self-funded, so we're not looking for any like major seed capital or anything like that. We just want to, try to get this, see if this will actually be a product in itself, and how we're going to monetize it is still up in the air. So, we could go through the SurveyMonkey route. I don't know if that'll work with small businesses, SMEs, right? I know they're very price sensitive, so therefore, what is the right pricing model for that, right?
If you're going to be giving people,
SurveyMonkey is a very different product.
Yeah, and if you're paying people to take a survey, you're giving them something of value, and someone's got to pay for that value you're giving them, and then you've got to make profit margin on top of that.
Top of that.
If the model is that value you're giving them is going to be tokens that are going to magically appreciate because everyone thinks they're worth something, that's not a business model. That's likely.
No, I don't think that's a business model at all. You need to see, the thing that bothers me, William, about this situation is that you don't have a hypothesis of how you're going to monetize. You're going down, building a certain product and bouncing around a certain segment and with a value proposition with no business model hypothesis. That needs to change. You may change that hypothesis, you may morph that hypothesis as you learn more, but you have to have some viable hypothesis before going down this path, and you need to talk to enough people before you build a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, your primary customer is not the people taking the surveys, it's the small businesses that you're selling this product to, and it's not clear enough what the value prop is to them. You've got to, what you're trying to deliver them is more surveys and information. So do you have evidence that some profile of customer is willing to pay a fair amount of money to get that more surveys and information about their customers? and how are they going to be confident that you're going to be able to deliver that to them? Because it doesn't seem like there's a simple small-scale test of this where you're going to show that you got a lot of people to take surveys.
Right. So that is where we are. So that is what I'm trying to establish here. Is in fact like a test bed customer or customers, like one or two, to get more product feedback to see whether this is viable or not, right? So this is definitely like very early stage, as I mentioned before. So this is like we don't have like a recurring revenue stream or anything of that nature, right?
Yeah, I mean, to start with, you should go and interview, call out to 40 businesses that you think would be their target businesses that you might do this, and ask them, is this a problem for them? Would they be willing to pay for something that got them all the survey information, and how much would they be willing to pay? And unless you get some really compelling answers there, if you don't think it can be sold pretty easily to that customer, the rest of it doesn't matter, right? You've got this
absolutely.
basic assumption that has to be proven before anything else matters in it.
All right, folks, we're going to stop. We're going to end there with William's presentation because we still need to